Chief Tactical Analyst Zek Thul had studied weapons technology for over 3 centuries, analyzing the military capabilities of 47 different species across the galaxy. From the Crystalline Collective's harmonic disruptors to the Void Hunter's reality shearing cannons, he had catalogued every conceivable method of warfare. Nothing in his vast experience had prepared him for the sheer absurdity of what humans called kinetic penetrators. "Explain this to me again," he demanded, his 4 eyes focusing on the holographic display, while his tentacles writhed with frustrated confusion. The tactical room, aboard the observation vessel Scholarly Pursuit, hummed with the quiet efficiency of scientists trying to understand the impossible. Dr. Velnara, the expedition's xenotechnology specialist, manipulated the display to show the weapon in question. The humans are firing metal rods. Just dense metal cylinders. No explosive payload, no energy matrix, no quantum destabilization field. Just tungsten steel rods accelerated to significant velocity. Zeke Thul's mandibles clicked in disbelief. That's it? No exotic matter? No dark energy manipulation? That's it, Dr. Velnara confirmed, her own bewilderment evident in the color shifts of her chromatophore patches. They call them kinetic kill vehicles, or sometimes rods from God. The humans launched them from orbital platforms at approximately 30 kilometers per second. The display showed the aftermath of the human weapon test on the abandoned moon of Kepler 442c, where the consortium's heavily fortified research station had once stood, a facility protected by the latest in defensive shielding technology. There was now simply a crater several kilometers wide. But how? Zeke Thul demanded. The consortium shields can withstand direct hits from fusion torpedoes. They're rated against quantum singularity bombs. How does a simple metal rod penetrate that level of protection? Dr. Velnara called up the physics analysis, her tentacles dancing across the control surfaces. According to our calculations, the kinetic energy involved was substantial. A 12-meter tungsten rod traveling at 30 kilometers per second generates approximately 15.8 terajoules of kinetic energy upon impact. Zeke Thul stared at the numbers, his mind refusing to process what he was seeing. That's impossible. You're telling me they achieved the destructive power of a strategic thermonuclear weapon using nothing but speed and mass? Elementary physics, confirmed Dr. Velnara. Kinetic energy equals 1/2 mass times velocity squared. The humans simply took the equation to its logical extreme. The implications were staggering. For millennia, galactic warfare had evolved toward increasingly sophisticated weapons energy matrices that could phase through conventional matter, exotic particles that disrupted atomic bonds, quantum fields that collapsed local spacetime. The arms race had driven technology to incredible heights of complexity, and humans had simply asked, what if we made things go really, really fast? "Show me the delivery system," Zeke Thul ordered, though part of him didn't want to know. The display shifted to show the human orbital platforms. Zeke Thul expected to see massive, complex launching systems, railguns kilometers long, exotic matter accelerators, spatial distortion fields. Instead, he saw what appeared to be simple magnetic acceleration rails, barely a few hundred meters in length. "That's all?" he whispered. "The humans call it keeping it simple," Dr. Velnara explained. "No complex targeting systems. They use basic orbital mechanics and gravity. No exotic power sources. Conventional fusion reactors provide adequate energy. No rare materials. Tungsten is relatively common. The entire system can be built and maintained using technology any spacefaring civilization possesses." Zeke Thul felt something that might have been admiration mixed with existential terror. The galactic community had spent eons developing weapons so sophisticated that only the most advanced species could manufacture, maintain, or defend against them. Humanity had looked at this cosmic arms race and opted out entirely, choosing instead to perfect what amounted to throwing rocks very, very hard. "What's the strategic assessment?" he asked, dreading the answer. Dr. Velnara's chromatophores flickered to deep purple, a sign of profound concern among her species. "Chief, these weapons are unstoppable by conventional defenses. Shields are designed to dissipate energy or deflect particles. They're not built to handle solid matter moving at relativistic speeds. Point defense systems can't track objects with such small cross-sections moving that fast. And the worst part? Yes, they're completely undetectable until impact. No energy signature, no exotic particles, no quantum disturbance. Just a piece of metal in space, moving very fast. By the time your sensors register the impact, the target is already destroyed." Zeke Thul slumped in his command chair, his tentacles going limp with defeat. "So let me understand this correctly. Humanity has developed a weapon that is simultaneously primitive and unstoppable, cheap and devastatingly effective, simple and completely undefendable against." "That's correct, Chief. And they did this by applying basic physics in a way that no one else thought to try." "Also correct." Zeke Thul was quiet for a long moment, staring at the display showing the crater where the consortium facility had been. Finally, he spoke again. "Dr. Velnara, what other basic physics concepts have we been overlooking in our pursuit of sophisticated weapons?" "I'm afraid to find out, Chief. If humans can turn elementary kinetic energy into a strategic weapon, what happens when they start getting creative with thermodynamics? Or acoustics? Or basic chemistry?" The thought sent chills through Zeke Thul's entire nervous system. Somewhere in human space, military engineers were probably sitting around asking questions, like what if we made something really hot? Or what if we made it really loud? And turning the answers into weapons that would make the galaxy's most advanced civilizations look like children playing with toys. "Update our assessment of human military capabilities," Zeke Thul ordered. "Classification: extremely dangerous. Method: weaponize simplicity. Recommendation: do not engage unless absolutely necessary. And if engagement is unavoidable, expect them to violate every assumption about how warfare is supposed to work." As the scholarly pursuit began its journey back to the galactic core, Zeke Thul couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just taught the entire galaxy a very expensive lesson about the difference between complexity and effectiveness. Sometimes, the stupidest weapon was also the smartest.